Now we have Borderlands 3 pulled up right here. Just like the other games, pay attention to all the little details. Movement, motion, the explosions, right? There's a firefight. Hey everyone, today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the Sceptre 22-inch computer monitor. I did receive this monitor from Sceptre to check out, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this 22-inch computer monitor or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Here's a look at the retail box and packaging right here. Everything looks great. They walk you through some of the tech specs and details, nice side profile, walking you through all the ports, I/O, everything you need to know about this monitor. It is 1920 by 1080p full HD, 75 hertz for the refresh rate. We have HDMI ports, blue light shift, and adaptive sync technology. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and look at the contents. All right, it's time for a quick viewer intervention. Yes, I'm talking to you. No, don't look away. I'm talking to you right now. In the last 28 days, almost 40,000 of you have viewed the TV Chef channel, but only 98 of you have become a subscriber. So would you please consider clicking that subscribe button? Bonus points if you like, comment, and share our videos as well. If you don't like our videos, please give it a thumbs down, click that dislike button, and tell us why in the comment section. We'd love to hear from you either way. Also, bonus points for you if you want to share it with an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, estranged sibling, spouse. You get the idea. We'd be grateful for that as well. Here are all the contents. First up, we have our product literature featuring our warranty information. This does come with a 1-year warranty. We have a thank you card with their customer service and contact information. We also have a read me first card here with your Visa mount options, either 75 by 75 or 100 by 100 or a combination of the two. And they walk you through the instructions there if you want to use your own stand. Lastly, we have the user guide and manual, very thorough, detailed, walking you through step by step everything you need to know about your new monitor, from installing the stand, removing the stand, wall mounting, identifying the front and rear panel, all of our connection options right here with more information for you. Again, color-coded, charts, diagrams, they even walk you through the menu, picture, color settings, you get the idea. All of our supported resolutions, depending on HDMI or VGA, troubleshooting, how to clean and maintain the monitor, tech specs for you as well, and then some additional warranty information. And again, you can contact them directly as needed. We have all of our hardware here. So we have our standoff brackets if we're going to use our own mount. We have some screws for the stand as well. We have our Sceptre branded Phillips head screwdriver, one HDMI cable, our power supply adapter right here with barrel plug. We have the stand itself. It's made out of plastic, very basic. And then lastly, we have the monitor itself. Let's go ahead, let's look at this in more detail. Here's a look at the back side of the monitor with our Sceptre logo and branding, our Visa mount right here, as well as our main stand mount if you want to use the included stand. Kensington security lock, DC in, audio out, audio in. This does have built-in speakers. VGA for you legacy users, and 2 HDMI 1.4 ports. On the other side, we have our menu button and control options and power button right there. Let's look at it from the side. You can get an idea for how thin this monitor is. Thinner at the top and gets thicker at the bottom. We'll do a top-down profile, same thing. Here's a look at the other side, the very bottom with some ventilation here. And now we'll look at it from the front, 22 inches measured diagonally. Pay attention to the bezels that we have along the side and the top. Sceptre's logo and branding down here. HDMI 75 hertz sticker on it as well. Now let's go ahead, let's get the stand installed. Stand installation consists of a couple of steps. The first thing we need to do is attach the plastic base pieces together. So they're only gonna fit one way with the tabs here. So basically you'll line them up and then you'll twist it into place. Once we have that assembled, we'll take the 2 screws that you see right here and we'll connect it to the back of the monitor. And then lastly, we have this little rubber cap here to tidy everything up. So again, just line it up and then see, we twist, it snaps in place. If you need to release it, we have this lever right here and then you can twist it the reverse direction. But now we're ready to line it up on the back. Again, just like that, you might need to keep it off the ground a little bit. Take the included Phillips head screwdriver and these 2 screws right here and fasten them in place. So we got the 2 screws fastened in place. Then we have our little cover right here and just gently press that in. So there we go, we have that all set up. Now the stand is successfully installed. Let's look at it in action. So this is a very basic stand. If you want to turn it to the left or the right, you're physically going to have to move the monitor the direction that you want. In regards to tilt, that's our max tilt down, but we do have the ability to tilt it back some, and that's going to be it. So if you want to adjust the height, anything like that, add some books to it, you get the idea. Very basic, but the good news is you do have that VESA mount option on the back if you want to use your own stand. Now let's go ahead, let's plug it in, powered on, and check out the menu settings. So we have the monitor plugged in, powered on, and connected to a desktop PC. So let's bring up the menu. First thing you'll notice, we have HDMI 1 connected, and we're getting 1920 by 1080 at 75 Hertz. That is what's advertised for our maximum spec for this monitor. Now let's look at our quick start settings. These are going to be your most common settings you'll use frequently. So we can change our image settings right there. We have our volume, aspect ratio, source, blue light shift, and adaptive sync. Next, we have our picture settings here. So again, the preset option, DCR, aspect ratio, and sharpness we can adjust. Moving right along, we have our color settings, so we can adjust color, temperature, gamma, tint, saturation, and your blue light settings again. Lastly, we have our system settings. We can turn and tune our overdrive settings right here. Adaptive sync, sleep settings, language, and our OSD position, a timer, and transparency settings, followed by our volume, our mute, and our monitor reset. So the menu is really easy to navigate and use. It's just a couple of simple navigational arrows on the back with the menu button to enter into the settings and the E button to exit and go back to the previous display. Now let's go ahead, let's really look at the image settings and see how everything looks using all the different presets. All right, so watch as the picture changes as we cycle through the different image presets right here. So we're on standard, user, movie, eco, FPS, RTS, back to standard. So we'll keep cycling through those. Again, it drastically changes depending on the mode that you're in. So you can fine tune this with your favorite preset, maybe depending on the game that you're using, the content you're consuming, if you're watching a movie, things like that. Or again, we have the user mode right here where we can fully customize this to look exactly how we want it to look. But there you go, it's a quick look at all the different image presets and how they're going to affect and change the image on the screen. I know the menu was showing us 1920 by 75 Hertz, but I still wanted to show you the Windows Advanced Display settings where we are getting 1920 by 1080 at 75 Hertz. If for some reason yours is showing something different, make sure you're in this setting and you have 75 Hertz selected from the drop-down menu. Now we're looking at the UFO test with our different FPS values on the display at 75 Hertz. If you have a powerful enough system or console, this is where having that higher refresh rate and being able to match that refresh rate with your FPS value will lead to smoother footage and gameplay, as you can tell right here. 75 FPS up at the top at 75 Hertz compared to 38 or 19. Pretty substantial difference. The alien's really sputtery and shaky down at the bottom, and it smooths out up at the top for that fast motion. Now let's talk about backlight bleed and IPS glow. I'm not sure I've ever seen a monitor that doesn't have something with it in that regard. So looking at this monitor with the black full screen that you see here in the pitch black, we didn't notice any backlight bleeding along the edges or anything like that, but I did notice a little bit of IPS glow in both of the top corners. Looking at it at an angle looking up, again in the pitch black, in the dark, so keep that in mind. But again, it's an IPS panel. This is what is expected, whether it's a budget-friendly one or even a super expensive one. Obviously, you get what you pay for, but in this case, it's not anything to be worried about, in my opinion, from my experience. I also want to add that you could have a completely different experience because it truly varies panel to panel. Sceptre advertises 99% sRGB with this monitor. I'm assuming that that is the coverage because our own results using DisplayCal show we got 98.9%, so close to their advertised value. If you're wondering about our gamut volume, we're showing 108.7% sRGB. For Adobe RGB, we got 72.7% coverage and 74.9% for our volume. And lastly, for DCI P3, we're showing 76.9% coverage and 77% even for our volume. Now let's take a look at web browsing on this monitor so you can get a realistic expectation and view of how everything's gonna look when you're browsing the web. Keep in mind, as with this whole review, it's always hard to showcase a monitor properly when you have a camera pointed at a display like this. But first up, we have YouTube with the trending page pulled up. Check it out. Look at how clear, crisp, everything looks really nice. Super responsive as well. But look at the clarity and the detail here. That's what's most important. Next, let's pull up The Verge. So if you want to use this to read news, things like that. This is a popular tech blog with a lot of different titles, graphics, ads, images, embedded video, so you can get a feel again for the browsing experience. Let's just click on a random article here. Look at all the different titles, paragraphs, clips, embedded tweets. Again, very clear and crisp. Viewing angles great with IPS panels. I'm looking at it off to the side right here and everything still looks fantastic. No distortion, color issues, anything like that. And lastly, if you want to do some online shopping, right? I mean, check it out. We got Amazon pulled up right here. Everything looks really nice. The images load great, right? No distortion. They're clear. They're crisp. Very nice browsing the web with this monitor. Now we're testing out the built-in speaker quality. We're playing a couple of seconds of the song Dripping with Ice from Music Chef. Music Chef is home to DMCA free and stream safe music for content creators. We have the volume maxed out at 100 right now. There was no noticeable difference when we adjusted it from 50 all the way up to 100. So go ahead, give it a listen for a second. So it'll probably sound pretty faint to you from where the speakers are located on the back side of the monitor and where our microphone is. In person, you will be able to hear everything, but these are, how do you say it? I mean, you get what you pay for a budget-friendly monitor. At least they have speakers. That's really what this comes down to. I always would rather have speakers and not need them than need them and not have them. So good enough if you're in a pinch or maybe just a simple video or things like that, and you'll appreciate having them, but obviously long-term you'll want to get a soundbar, nice pair of headphones, things along those lines. Now it's time for my favorite test. We're going to be measuring the input lag on this monitor. Now keep in mind, input lag is not the same as response time. So this has a 5 millisecond response time measured G to G. That's the amount of time it takes the pixel to change from one color to another. Input lag is going to be the delay between when a command is issued and when it's displayed on the screen. So let's see what our results are. The lower the better is what you want here. This is more important to gamers as well. Hey, look at that. So about 1.1, 1.0, that's pretty good. We'll take that. That's really good. So anywhere between 1 and 1.2 milliseconds. I'll show you the middle value and the bottom value. These will be higher. So we're showing 8.5, 8.4. And lastly, this will probably be around 16. All right, 16.1 at the bottom. So right around 1 millisecond for our input lag. That is really, really good. The moment you've all been waiting for. What's it like to game on this monitor? First up, we got Forza 5 right here. Check it out. Pay attention to the different colors, right? Look at the sky, the horizon. You got nighttime, the reflections. IPS panels are known for their color accuracy and viewing angles, and it looks really sharp and really nice. Pay attention to the movement and motion. 75 FPS right now at 1080p. Very fluid and smooth. Look at the lighting environment's changed now. So we got some daylight here. Movement, motion, very fluid and smooth. Best way I could describe it. Pretty impressive given the price of this monitor. Got the raindrops now in the camera. The splashing from the cars. Looks really good. Now we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla pulled up right here. Look at the gameplay and footage as well. All the smoke rising from the fires. Pay attention to the movement of the characters, the water. As the light changes. We're rocking over 130 FPS at 1080. Now we have Borderlands 3 pulled up right here. Just like the other games, pay attention to all the little details. Movement, motion, the explosions, right? There's a firefight. Get a feel for if this is going to be the experience you want if you are trying to buy this as a budget-friendly gaming monitor. The embers, the fire, the smoke, the different lighting, the electricity there, sparks, character running, movement looks good. The detail of the town. The rubble, the firefight right here, look at that. The explosion with the slime, toxic slime. All right, look at that explosion with our little flashbang there. Oh, the firefighting down below. Not bad at all. Now let's talk about next-gen consoles. First up, we have the PlayStation 5 connected. Here's the video output information you'll be able to get using this display and a next-gen console like the PlayStation 5. 1920 by 1080 at 60 Hertz. Don't worry, I didn't forget about you Xbox people. We have the Xbox Series X connected. We're looking at the TV and display options. We're also going to get 1080p at 60 Hertz for our refresh rate. So there's a lot to love about this 22-inch Sceptre monitor. They do a really nice job packing a lot of value into this particular display. IPS panel with great viewing angles and color accuracy, 99% sRGB, and they give us plenty of ports. Sceptre doesn't make any compromises. 2 HDMI ports and a legacy VGA port, audio in and out if you want to route things differently, and it has built-in speakers, which is really nice. Sure, they don't sound great. That's what I want to see improved the most with this monitor in a future version or model of this, but honestly, at this price point, it's amazing that Sceptre even gives us speakers at all, so that speaks to the value of what Sceptre offers with their monitor. Extra ports on the back, built-in speakers. We still have a VESA mount option. The stand isn't great. We just have basic tilt functionality, but they don't lock you into it, and you still have the ability to bring your own stand if you want to unlock swivel, rotation, things along those lines. So really don't have any complaints besides the typical, I want better resolution, better refresh rate, right? Things like that I always say regardless of price that everybody would always want as these continue to progress and advance in the future as technology changes. But overall, really solid monitor and value.